dear Toastmasters and guests, today I am here to share with you one of the most memorable incidents in my life. An incident that made me stop on the tracks of my life journey and which made me transform the purpose of my life. The year was 2004 and the day was 26th December and the place was Sri Lanka, my motherland, the most beautiful paradise island in the Indian Ocean. And the time was precisely 9 minutes past 9 o'clock in the morning. The happy-go-lucky islanders, including my family, were enjoying their Boxing Day holiday, watching a live telecast of a cricket match between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. Suddenly, the cricket match was interrupted to bring in a breaking news. And to the greatest horror of the entire nation, it was informed that our beautiful island was struck by tidal waves named tsunami, triggered by a seaquake close to Indonesia. The monstrous wave was creating great destruction and chaos as the mighty ocean had already swallowed up many valuable lives and properties along the coastal areas of our northern, eastern and southern part of our island and was creating a great threat to the rest of our coastal areas as well. My family and I were numbed with shock. Our house was just 50 meters away from the sea in the western coastal area. I clutched to my 2 daughters, the eldest just 8 years, the youngest only an infant, and prayed to Almighty for salvation. Our phone kept ringing non-stop. All people known to us kept calling, urging us to leave home immediately. As there was no other alternative, we decided to leave home as soon as possible, with the most important necessities we would need. It is interesting to see what my family considered as important at that time of urgency. My husband grabbed our passports, which were endorsed with our New Zealand visas. And my daughter hugged dearly onto her organ, which was given to her only 2 days ago. And I was only thinking of taking the most important medicine and food items for my children. Leaving home was not an easy task. It was not only our home we were leaving, but all the material assets we had worked hard for, which we could not afford to take with us and had no guarantee of coming back or seeing them at all. However, while taking refuge with one of our relatives, we got to know more details about this disaster, which had created great destruction, not only to our beautiful island, but to many neighboring countries as well. Stories of people grieving for dead family members or looking for lost members kept surfacing by the minute. And the worst story of all was when I got to know that a classmate of my daughter had lost her entire family and stood an orphan with no one or no place to go until her school principal claimed custody of the little girl after seeing her on television. I was just devastated. This was the first story I heard in my life. And at that time, I thanked Almighty for giving me the comfort of my family and also saving us from this great disaster. I also felt ashamed of feeling sad of leaving my house with all the material assets, whereas people were dying by the minute. Subsequent to this tsunami and many more such natural disasters that keep occurring around the globe, has made me realize that human life is much more valuable and important than the material assets we all yearn for. Today, I am here to speak to you all, share this incident with you all with a purpose. Most of us are all expatriate workers working very hard to give the best comfort and luxuries to our families. However, what we fail to understand is that while working hard, we tend to neglect or ignore the most precious asset in our lives, our relationship and the time we spend with our families, friends and the people around us. According to UN statistics, around 200,000 people were perished in this tsunami. And even as at now, there are families still regretting not having the time enough to spend with their beloveds. My dear Toastmasters and friends, let's pray to God that it doesn't happen to us. Let's make our time precious and valuable to be with our families and friends. Remember, assets once lost can be regained at any cost, but lives once lost cannot be gained at any cost. So let's make the best out of our lives. Let's